Oh, okay. So let's move your camera. Now I'll spotlight for you. So this is my sample, which you'll have seen on the website when you were booking it, and I've done this on an embroidery hoop. So I've warped it up, and the warping goes fully around the inside of the embroidery hoop, and it's quite nice because you can put that on, straighten it up, and then you put the outside ring on, and then obviously tighten it, and that is actually quite nice to work with. But you go around both of these as if they were one thread.
Right.
What you're going to do on the loom, so I mean, if you wanted to do one permanently and you're going to hang it, brilliant, crack on with that sort of method. But what's nice about these looms is we can remove this at the end. You've got two options. You've got holes, so you can work through the holes, and that would be working in the same way as that. You would end up with a thread both at the front and at the back, and you would go around both of them as if they were one warp.
Just knock my iPad over.
The other method, we're just simply going around the cogs.
Right.
So we'll be able to remove this. What you'll want to do is either take your weaving all the way up to the very, very edge, so that when we remove it, you haven't got too much slack, and that'll just be flat done a piece of circular fabric for the use of. Or you'll need to leave yourself, I would have said, at least an inch, 2.5 to 3 centimeters, so that we can then weave that in, and I can teach you sort of a nice edge, so that that'll be woven in. So your work will be slightly smaller. Yeah, is that all right, Lindsay?
I keep knocking my iPad over.
Oh, bless you. So yeah, so the work will be slightly smaller. You've all got one large and one small. There were kit sets of 5, so everybody's got one large and one small. So Lindsay and Tilly, you've almost got a full set between you, because I imagined that you could swap.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
So you should have this is a medium, but you should all have a larger and a smaller one, so you can have a go at doing, say, coasters or placemats or whatever. So here's what I said earlier, and I've just been messing about with some pattern. So can you say, because the distance between the warp threads are much further apart the further out you go than in the middle, what I have tried to do with this one is use a thinner cotton on the middle, and then got a bit thicker as I've gone out. This is the roving yarn, so I've started to break that down into smaller pieces. So I'll show you how to use that today. And here we've done the twining method. Now I know that 2 of you haven't done weaving with me before, so I will start from the very beginning, and so I'll show you all the same stitches over again. But everything else here you see is just a tabby weave. As you can see, I've done a bit of colour block in there, and I'll show you how to do that as well, and make sure you join that all in. So first things first, let's talk about warping up your looms. So I put some yarn in. Upon reflection, when I found this, I thought, oh, this is really nice, but it's actually a little bit feeble. It's not got the strength in it that you need. I think if you're doing a really big piece, I'd use something else. It's actually really nice. It is really nice. I really like it, but it breaks quite easily. So you might want to use something.
What is it? What actually pro?
I thought it was a cotton, but I don't think it is now. It feels like
it feels a bit like cotton. It might be a mix.
Yeah,
quite fine, isn't it? It's quite nice.
Yes, it is very nice. I really liked it. As I was saying earlier, the supplies that I was using were frustrating. So I had ordered some weaving, yeah. Well, to be honest, it's just a cotton. But what's nice about that wool is, I'll show you when I finish warping it up. Instead of doing a knot in the middle when I finished warping it up, I continued weaving, and because it's the same material, it's really nice.
Oh, you've used it. Oh, right, that's a good idea.
In the middle.
Yeah.
So I've got a really fixed warp in there because I've used the end to go around, but because it's the exact same thickness, it looks really good. So,
Yeah, you want some belly fine in the middle, don't you, really?
yeah, I would work fine out, definitely. Right, so do a knot, yarn,
What do we do?
just put a knot to begin with and hook it over one of your cogs. Now, if
Are we
you've got
best starting? Sorry, Prue. We're best starting off with a big one or a small one.
it's up to you. Go big because the little ones I reckon will be fiddly.
Okay.
What you need to do is you need to count your cogs all the way around. This one is 35 and you want to do one slightly less. That will become apparent. So I should have counted these first, but I haven't.
Can I just stop you there? How did you do it? How did you do your knots?
Okay.
knot.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Well, it is a magic knot. So you take the yarn,
Yeah.
twist it,
Twist it.
put your finger and thumb through,
Yeah.
grab the tail end,
Tail end. Yeah.
pull it through.
Oh, right. I need a longer bit. Hang on.
That's a magic knot. And it's magic because it loosens and tightens on the end from your tail end rather than the body of the fabric as you're moving forward. The advantage of that is, like a noose, we can tighten it. I mean, you can tighten it the other way, to be fair, but you can tighten it at any stage. Oh, she says it, and I won't do it. There we
Where?
go.
Hey.
It doesn't really matter. I'm just showing off now. Just going to trim that so it doesn't get on my nerves. Then we're going to count around how many cogs there are.
Oh, I can't not. I'm sorry.
Oh, take 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. So there does need to be an odd number for the weaving to work. So half of 55 is 27. So I'm going to go to my 26th hole. That's what worked for me the other day. So I have to decide, is this coming out of the right hand side or the left hand side? And I'm going to count it coming out of the left. Does that make sense? I have to decide.
Are we counting the
yeah.
cogs or the holes?
The holes.
I will say I had an odd number of cogs. I thought that was a great one.
Yeah, well, the holes and the cogs will be the same, Tracy.
Are they?
Yeah, count the cogs simply because it's easier, but we're actually working into the gaps between. Yeah, it will be, yeah.
I've got an odd number, so I think I'm all right, aren't I?
Yeah, but you should have an odd number. Yeah, they'll all be odd. Yeah.
All right.
So I'm going to count 27 around. Was it 27? 54, yeah. Seven. Oh, I've forgotten which one it was. I'm just going to go for it. So instinct would tell me to go to that one because that's directly down, but I'm actually going to the one to the right. So you could do it by eye if you wanted, but don't go directly down. Go to the one. If you're left-handed, working to the left will probably be easier for you. If you're right-handed, go to the right. So Jeanette, count the opposite way around. And then we go around the cog. Back up and head over to the left. Or Jeanette, you're right. Is anybody else left-handed?
What, can you please
around,
start again? I missed this beginning.
Right.
I was counting. So,
You're not winding around every single cog, Pro?
No, alternate ones.
10 at once, right?
так, 1. Okay.
So count 27 round. And actually, I'm going to the right, not the left. I got confused. Oh, I'm getting really confused. Look at that. No, I'm not. I'm right.
Alternate one.
Yeah, every alternate cog. Otherwise, you're going to end up with too many threads coming out of one gap. You only want one thread per gap. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, but mine doesn't look like yours.
Add it the other way. Doesn't work. Well, it does work. It just means you've got double threads like I did with the embroidery hoop. So I'm just using one of the yarns out of your kits. This is an acrylic. I'm just untaffling it. Acrylics are quite good for this because they're strong. You've got an awful lot of give. You don't want a lot of elasticity in your warp thread. And I measured out the pieces that you've got that I put in as warp thread, and they were all big enough to do the large loom. Got a feeling this won't be, so I might have to join another one, but I'll just get an interesting pattern. If you wanted to do alternate colours on this, you would warp it up using alternate colours. Yeah, run out of yarn.
Mine's not meeting in the middle. I don't know where I'm going wrong.
No, ma-
Look, Tracy.
I've just unfastened it again.
Okay. It does look a bit odd to begin with. It takes a while for it to come together. You do need to change halfway through because mine wasn't long enough. Just knot it on. Make sure you do a double knot or it'll come undone. You must keep your tension. So Jeanette and Tilly, it's like anything. You've got to have good, strong tension on this. So try and keep it nice and taut as you work around. It's too low. Pull it back. Pull it tight.
All right.
There we go. So I'm going to use a different colour.
We don't have to finish all circle, or
Yeah, I've just run out of thread.
so we can continue.
Yeah, just keep going.
Mhm.
It'll be nice to have a different warp thread. You can do 2 different warp threads if you want. Now then, enough to make sure I don't miss that one. There we go. So try and keep it tight, just rocking backwards and forwards.
My wool's got knotted.
Oh, Matt, that's why I had to stop for ages. I was knotting my wool. Oh, they just look great like this, don't they? Right, when you've all got as far as I have, I will show you the next bit, how to tie off your work in the middle.
I'm not convinced I've got it right yet. I think I'm out by a couple of.
You're doing a medium size one, Tracy.
Oh, missed one
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, but I think I'm out. I don't think I've gone in the middle, but I'll
It's counterintuitive. You want to go directly down, but you need to go to one side or the other.
yeah, I'm not sure I followed the right way after I'd done that bit.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I see. You've maybe leaned over to the right or, gone
Yeah.
behind.
Well, yes. When I can unknot it and I've got enough free, I can see how far out I am, I think, and then go backwards. It's just so knotted.
Are you good, Lindsay?
I think so. I don't know.
Just-
Right.
Just make sure you've got a piece of thread coming out of each hole, each gap.
One's 2, where I started's got 2 each side.
So where you started, you only want to have one. So what we're going to do is tie that one off, but we're going to tie it in at the middle and then start weaving
Right.
it away. So I'm going to cut quite a length off. I'm just waiting for the others to catch up.
I just can't get it unknotted.
So can you see this last one, Lindsay? Before I go down,
Yeah.
I'm going to do something with it before I actually attach it to the other side.
Right.
Join it in.
I haven't got an empty one on the other side to put it on. Is that right?
Yes,
I
that's
haven't.
right. No, you're not supposed to.
Right. Oh, because there's an odd number in the cost
Yeah,
erase.
there's an odd number, that's right. So yeah, there has to be odd, otherwise the weaving pattern doesn't work. It's the same with basketry. We work baskets up even. Initially, they're even on the bottom. Then as you stake them up, you have to you have to add another stake if you're going to do particular weaves, certain types of weaving. So like if you were doing the equivalent of a tabby, you'd have to add an additional stake, so you have an odd number.
Yeah.
So what I'll just do, I know some of you haven't finished your warping up, but I'll just show you how we're going to do the finishing off.
Yeah, I'm out by one.
You might be able to take it. Oh, it don't look too bad, Tracy. You've got, how many are you out by? Pull it down a little so I can see. Yeah.
So if I go back to the beginning,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm not sure how to put it right though. That's the problem. So I'll untangle it, and at least I'll have it tangled again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Tracy could count when she could get a little pencil and just mark the top, and then
Yeah.
count the 27 cogs, and then put another little
Cheap
pencil
person
mark,
with-
and that might
Idea.
help at the beginning, maybe.
No, that's a good idea. Yeah, let me just,
Yeah.
I'm getting untangled. So
That's what I would do, so that I wouldn't get confused.
I think it's when I went onwards after I got to the 27th.
Yeah, I think you went to the right.
Well, I've
No.
not got 27, I've got 43, so I'm assuming I'm at 21.
Yes. And then I think you've gone off to the right rather than off to the left.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what you've done as well.
right.
So what I've done is we'll crack on, Tracy, but I will show you this again.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
So-
watching my untangling anyway.
Length. So I've got to my final one, and I'm not, can you see there's my final gap? I'm not going to join it at the other end because I don't want a double thread there, because that will become confusing. So instead, whilst holding this tense, keeping my tension, so I'm holding it there, I'm going to thread it onto the needle. You have to be multi-dexterous here, I'm just ambidextrous. And then I'm going to actually tie it all up, sort of thing. So I'm going to stitch it around the inside.
You're doing this on the back or the front, Pro?
On the front, all at the front.
All at the front.
And what
All
that-
at the front. So have you gone up with your last
yeah,
piece?
instead of wrapping around here, I've gone through the middle, all the way up to the top. and
Back where you, did you go back where you started from
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, back where I started. So
I've
if I
already got,
had that on, it would go back to the warping thread that I've only just put into place. So
I've already
literally-
got a bit of string there though.
Have you only got a little bit left?
No, I've already got. Oh, I know what I've done.
We're not going all the way to the top. We're just staying in the middle. We're just tying a knot around the middle. And can you see it's pulled it all together?
Where's your knot, Pro?
I haven't done a knot.
Oh,
I've
no,
literally-
your knot's at the bottom. I've got it.
Yeah, we're
Right.
not yet. Can you see that one's the starter?
Yeah.
Up through the middle. I've done it 3 times now, but just because I've demonstrated it. But what that does is actually it gives me a nice little sort of stitch in the middle.
Right. Got it, I think.
So I've literally just done essentially a running stitch around.
You don't have to cut a certain amount length off, do you?
Well, I've given myself quite a nice length because I want to do a little bit of weaving with this now. So
Okay.
this will be exactly the same thickness as the warps, and it'll just start to tie it in at the middle. Now you're not forced to. You can either start weaving very tightly close to this central knot, or you can start weaving further out. On this one, because I did this in string, all that middle, wait for it to come into focus, so it's quite bright, isn't it? All that middle is just the cotton.
Right.
There's no weave there. My weave doesn't start until this brown. Well, there's a cream one just on the inside, but you can't tell. Whereas with this one that I've just done, because I've done it with the same thickness, can you see how that weave goes all the way to the very middle?
Mm.
I quite like that. I like the 2 different effects, but this is why I didn't give you the thick cotton, because I think this looks really nice. Whereas the thick cotton, you could try and
Aim
get
me knot out.
so you're not out. And then I've just started weaving from here. I obviously work right to left, but you can go either way. You can either work right to left at the top of your work or right to left at the bottom of your work. But make sure you keep going the same way, because if you turn around halfway, the weaving doesn't work. I tried it. So I'm going to work
I'm
round this
sure I'll
way.
try it too.
Yeah, you should try it. I was thinking of you when I did it. Oh dear. Right, so if you haven't done weaving before, it's very simple. You go under one thread. I'll just put this in close up. Over, then under the next one, then over the next one, under, over, under, over, under, over. And you'll see I'm working up here, even though I want the thread to come all the way down here, because this makes it dead easy. I'm going to pull my needle through. And then I'm going to give it a little tug, and it's really quite different to weaving on a loom backwards and forwards. So I'm pushing it down. You can do this with a fork. I'm doing it with a pair of scissors. You probably won't even see this first row actually. Just make sure you keep your pattern correct. So go over. What also
The
helps.
one that you looped, sorry, Prue, the one that you looped over at the end, that's a single one, do you treat that as one or as two?
You should only have one. So if you've got
Do you know where you, I mean, the one that came up and
Yeah.
over there.
Show me it on the screen. Have you got two full ones
Oh,
running
right.
down? Yeah, if you've got two full
That
ones,
one.
treat it as one. Yeah, just treat it as one, Lindsay. Yeah,
Treat it as one.
yeah.
Right.
So yeah, the advantage of doing it further over is you can see more clearly. If you're trying to weave all the way down here, it's difficult to see. We're just going to start working round. And what I'm finding with this yarn, this light yarn, I'm having to really work it in. But with the yarn, this blue one, it hasn't got any texture in the yarn. It's going in quite nicely, naturally. So over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. I'm pulling it. So we're giving it quite a tug, which we don't do normally at this stage. I'm pushing and pulling at the same time. Pushing it down and pulling it off to my right. I presume, Jeanette, you'll be wanting to work to your right. We normally would do this with a shed stick or a fork. I haven't actually needed to do this very much at all. The beating.
Yeah, I still think I've gone wrong.
Let me see, Tracy. Yeah, it doesn't look right, does it? Right, Tracy, there's a video that I can send you that might be easier. But shall I just do you another demonstration? See if that'll help on the little one.
Let me just unravel it again. So I think I'm just not being consistent as I'm going on, but I was trying to watch you as well. So I think I was trying to do too many things at once.
Let's
Right.
do a quick one. But should we do it together?
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we'll do it together.
Right. I've got 43. So I'm assuming I'm aiming for 21.
And there's 23 on this one. Right, I'm going to do Liz's idea. So that's my number one. Oh, I've forgotten, what was it, 23? Hang on.
I'll put the numbers on the gaps.
Can't think what's up. It'll be 11, won't it?
11 and a half.
9 cent, 11, right. So I'm going to go to this one. Now, maybe that's where the issue is, Tracy. Put it on the noggin because you're going around the noggin.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I thought I was going for the gaps, you see, so I went for the
Well,
20.
we're going in the gaps, but we're going around the cog. It just depends how your mind works, doesn't it?
Right. I'll just trying to make sure I've not missed a number.
Are you doing all right, Anna?
Yeah, yes, I'm just also working at this one in case I did wrong.
Oh, it looks good. Hold it up. Let's have a look.
Because mine, when I start, just here,
Yeah.
if you see, probably additional.
Yeah, you've got an extra one like Lynn.
Yeah, so shall I leave it or?
Yeah, leave it. Just
I
work
will-
with it as if it were only one.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Because you need an odd number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you maybe just should have knotted it off a little bit earlier, that's all.
Mm.
Are you all right, Tilly?
Yeah, I seem to have a. I don't know what I've done there.
Let's have a look.
I've got on this bit. I've got 2 reds.
Yeah, you've done the same. You've gone all the way around the back, haven't you?
Yeah.
Just treat it as if it were one. Just make
Right.
sure you remember. Maybe even put a little bit of tape across the top so it holds them together and then you won't forget.
So I treat it as one, but I've already been going round. Does it matter?
Can you see where you've gone round?
Yeah, because it's gone lopsided. A bit of weaving. It's gone nice there.
Yeah.
I can't see any on that side.
Well, it's just a bit tricky to get it in, I think, at the beginning. Yeah, you must treat that. If you've got a double one, you must have an odd number. Otherwise, your weave will not work because it needs to alternate. And if it's not odd, it won't alternate. It'll always stay the same, and it just simply won't work.
Do I pick it out then?
No, just work around it as if it were one.
What, even though it's ended at 1K?
I don't know if that's what's making it 1K. It could be. I can't, unfortunately, see the detail.
I'll pick it out.
But if you've worked with that as a 2, to be honest, Tilly, it'll be fine. That very middle, it won't matter. It'll pull itself together. How are you doing, Jeanette?
Fine.
Good.
Right, so
Right, Tracy, should we do one together?
yeah, because I've tried it about 3 times now and I'm not getting, it doesn't look any more right.
Well, I had to try this a few times, so this is demo post practice, not first time I've done it, so don't worry.
Right. So I'm on 1, and if I assume I'm that's gone on the left side, do I go on to the right side of the other or the left side of the other one?
I don't understand, unfortunately. I'll have to see. Let me see.
So I'm on this side
Yeah.
of it. So do I go to the opposite side of the coggin?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I want you to do what I'm doing. So I want you to mark your cog, number 1.
Yeah. And then go,
and
yeah,
mark your
yeah.
opposite cog -1, number 1.
yeah.
I
Oh,
want you to
-1.
select over to the left.
Over to the left, yeah.
And then on the top,
Yeah.
go to the right.
And leave a bit.
And at the bottom,
Hang on,
go
I'm
to the
leaving a
left.
space. Yeah, I've left a space, yeah.
Yeah.
And at the bottom. Leave another space, yeah. Oh,
top, round the right, bottom, head left.
hang on, right, we'll get entangled again. Oh, I'm wondering if I've missed one out. At some point I have to go around every coggin, don't I?
Yes.
Right, and I
In
think
order. Yeah.
I was missing one out. Right.
Yeah. It is a bit confusing. I have to admit, my brain doesn't particularly like this sort of thing. I have to really concentrate. And in fact,
No,
mine's
you
off to one side. Look,
Real
can you
chuffed
see
you're
it's off to
voted
one
for it
side?
then, Prue.
You could see that coming, couldn't you, Liz? Look, man's off to one side.
I didn't like to say anything.
It's you lot, you challenged me. I'm gonna go. I'm happier going to the right and then to the left. Oh dear me.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe-
I have to go in each gap just once, don't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm better. Oh, I've got a massive knot now. All right, got it out. Right.
It's really counterintuitive.
You know.
It really is, because you're going clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise, like that, aren't you?
It's getting that first noggin right, but going the correct way.
Oh,
So I got my noggin in the right place, Liz, and then went the wrong way.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I maybe shouldn't watch. I maybe should turn my camera off, because you
No,
might.
no, it's fine. Oh no,
Watching
I'm
you.
like this normally. No, this is why I need helpers. Got a full team of helpers on me permanently, you know. Right, so
I've
we're
still
gonna
got a
go.
gap.
Yeah, I just had to undo mine because the gap was in
Yeah,
the
I've
wrong
still got
place.
too massive a gap again. Look.
Yeah, you're leaning over to one side, aren't you? Let me just have a look at your gap. Lift it up a little bit more. You've only got, Tracy, you've only got one hole. You're actually there, you just don't know it yet. Where's your end? Show me your end.
Ends here.
Right, take
Oh,
your end.
right. Right. So then I come there. No,
Yeah,
it's,
you've done. You've done it.
yeah, but I seem to have got a.
Yeah, don't worry about it looking weird. It'll look weird. It'll look weird until you put your knot in it, right? Just bear with.
Right.
The thing about these things, I find, if you try not to think about it, it's much easier. Right, there we go. So,
Just get some scissors.
yeah, get your scissors. Where's my needle?
What are you doing, Tilly?
Now.
You've what?
Right, so I've pulled it out again. So
Oh,
I'm up there.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I'm back to where my knot is, Prue.
Yeah, right, that's where I am.
So what do I do with that bit now?
Right, so you know with your knot, you mean your first knot, don't you? So there's my first knot. So I
Yeah.
said, right, that's coming off to the left. And
Yeah.
I've got this one, it's going to come down to the middle.
Yeah,
Then I'm going to thread the yarn onto my needle, like
but
so.
isn't that where you end up with two strands and you shouldn't have two?
You shouldn't have two coming out of the same.
No, that ends up as two, doesn't it then?
You
Yeah,
no, it shouldn't, because this one isn't a second one, because this is coming out of here. It just looks as if you've got two. So can you see the knot is coming out of both? That's not the warp thread. The warp thread is coming off, is actually coming out of this gap here.
yeah.
This one doesn't
Yeah.
actually have a warp thread coming out of it.
Ah, right. So because if you moved it across,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I've just done. Yeah.
Yeah,
got
the
it.
left- That's the lefty there.
our man went wrong then. Oh, never mind.
It's the brain melt, isn't it?
Oh, never mind.
It's funny, you know, because this is exactly the sort of thing that we couldn't imagine teaching online, because it's something
Oh.
you physically want to take off somebody and show them. But we seem to manage, don't we? So there we go. So yeah, thread your needle.
Yeah.
And technical term, oik it round. Just opposite and pull it up through. And I like to weave that in because I think it looks pretty and it secures your warp threads in place. If you
So
can-
just through a few.
Yeah, I mean, I only did it on one, to be honest. I mean, if you just give that a little tug, can you see as you pull it, it centers it off?
That's what I'm trying to do, centre mine off. Yeah.
Yeah, it just centers it off really nicely and pulls it off.
Oh, mine's just broken.
Oh, yeah, I did worry about that. Sorry, Tracy. Should we call this disaster week?
Oh dear, that's a bit of a.
Is it all gone?
No, it's just broken, and I've gone through once. I wonder
What's
if I,
broken the thread that you're working with?
yeah, I wonder if I can tie it to one of the other ones.
Yeah, just tie it onto something. Do a reef knot. Can you do a reef knot?
There's not a lot of it. Yeah,
Pull it back. Pull it back and take it up. So it's part of your wall.
yeah, it's tight. It's broken really close to the edge.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that the one that I gave you? Was a wall pin thread as well?
Yeah. Well,
Bad tea.
I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. Don't worry about it. I can. I've got some super glue in the garage.
Oh, dear. Right. Right. So I've now got 3 on the go. You do realise I have to finish all these projects, you lot. Right. Yes. Well, I didn't suggest you do the small one first because I can assure you this is fiddly.
I've done it now. Hey. It's not centered. That's probably a good description of it. It's about
You can push it. You can move it around. Give it a bit of a zhuzh.
you remember it's got a knot in it.
Don't shush.
Right. I'm gonna yeah, I'll do some weaving in the middle, see what happens. Did you say we use each thread as an individual thread?
Yes, we're individualising the whole thing. Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna have to tie
If we
mine
go
in.
all the way around and round and round. You know, if we'd gone sort of back to front, then you do it twice. Sorry, you work with 2 threads if there were one.
Hey.
Once you get into it, it's really, really, really nice, and it's quite quick as well.
Should you go clockwise or anti-clockwise?
That's a
Well,
good
I am working clockwise, but I noticed earlier I was working anti-clockwise.
but you've got to always go the same way.
Well, just to get you started, yes, just to get you started. Keep
I
going
think I'll go.
round and round until you get the hang of round and round.
But
Now,
clockwise, Tilly, because you're right-handed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I was going the other way because if you're going anti-clockwise, you are still going your direction, but you're doing it at the bottom of the work, not the top of the work. You'd have to try it, but once you've started going one way, keep going the same way for now. What I want you to do your bubble. So do you remember? You might not remember it because you might not have been there. So Jeanette and Tilly, what we do with weaving is we leave a bubble. So we don't want the yarn to be too tight. Well, I probably do on this one, but I'm doing it so there's what we call a bubble. So it's a little bit higher up, and then I'm pulling it into place. Oh, this is going really well. It's a nice one. I'll do that. Just chilling kits. So when you run out of thread or when you're ready to change colour, don't take your thread all the way to the very end because it's going to be difficult to finish off. We want to leave something of a tail, and you can either leave it at the back and just leave it hanging and start with a new piece of yarn, or weave it straight in. I do recommend the weaving it straight in, and I'll show you how to do that. So those of you that have done weaving with me before, as you know, you just sort of run it, take it through to the back. So Jeanette and Tilly, I'm just going to show you how to get rid of your ends. We always leave them at the back. So you can just leave it loose and carry on working. That's perfectly normal, but it can be quite frustrating because you end up catching them and messing about. And we've got quite a small surface area. When you work with a square flat piece, you're moving up and you're moving away from them. But what I found with the circular weaving is you're going round and round and you're going past them all the time. So it's quite frustrating. So you just make sure you've still got your thread on your needle. And we're going to just follow one of your warp threads down. This is on the back of the work. And just take your thread through. The challenge here is these needles are actually a bit too chunky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to put it through one. And to be honest, that'll do. I'm not going to cut it too short. So I can do something with that later on. You can't really see, but I've left about 1 centimetre on that. So it shouldn't annoy me now. And then I'll just show you how to join with a new colour. Oh, I'm going to mix up my kits. Oh no, shall I mix up my kits?
Oh, go on, you devil.
I know. Well, I've got to. I've got this lovely blue.
Which one are you using, Pro?
I've got, well, I did. I have to do a copy of everything. So we've got 4 Under the Seas out there and 2 Just Chillings. Nobody wanted the unicorn kit.
No, it sounded a bit too sickly.
Yeah.
Shall I show you what was
It's
going to
too
go in there?
Yeah, shows the colours, shows
One of
what could be in us. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
like
it
the pig.
it would have been things like this. Yeah,
I'd have gone for the unicorn.
yeah. I think I'll do you one, Liz. I've just not had time to get something out to you actually. I didn't mean-
Don't worry, I'm making one out of cardboard as we speak.
Oh,
Hey,
good.
oh.
Oh, good.
So if it works, I'll let you know.
Great. The challenge with cardboard is you haven't got the hole. Have you done it so you've got a hole in the middle? Let's have a look.
I will do in a minute.
Okay.
I'm,
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm
I
still
can-
figuring it out.
Little
Yeah,
Ben,
get it out.
little
yeah.
bell.
Right, so I'm going to join
I've
in,
got the rigidity, that's it.
and it doesn't really matter where you start, but you start from behind.
Can you spotlight yourself, Pro?
Oh, am I not spotlighted?
I thought you were.
I am spotlighted, but it's
Oh,
possible
yes.
that
Oh, that's me then. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just it can go off if you put gallery view. You've had it.
Yeah, you need to stay on speaker view.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaker view. Yeah, speaker view is a good one. Right. So I'm going to start a new colour. So Jeanette and Tilly, you other guys should know, but if you want to watch now. So I'm just literally going to come from behind. I'm dropping it through. I'm leaving myself a tail of, I don't know, 10 centimetres, 8 to 10 centimetres. And then I'm going to carry on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to go anti-clockwise, even though I'm right-handed. Because what you can see is even though I'm right-handed, I'm still working right to left. I'm pulling away from myself. And I just move it, and I'm always working right to left because I'm right-handed. If I were left-handed, I can go right, left to right. I'm just turning the cog the opposite way. Instead of turning it that way, I'm just turning it that way. So it doesn't actually matter. Although, yeah, this is what happened. So because I've changed, at one point, the weave starts to marry up. Can you say? It started to become, it's no longer opposite, it's joining up. And this is because I've changed the way of doing it. And it's to do with, that's where I finished off the yarn. So there'll be some maths behind it. I suspect if I keep going, it'll find its level. Let's see, shall we? I tried this earlier and I thought, that's one of those things that confuses the life out of me. I want to know, will it? Yes.
Decide what I want to use next now. There's
I know. Well, I was going to do ombre, but I just don't have the, I'm too spontaneous. So I ended up doing a colour block, Lindsay. So I started subtle.
I've got a load of my own colours as well.
Oh, I can
So,
imagine.
oh, that's nice.
Well, I've just done.
I've got a load of my own green as well. I'm lost. I don't know what to choose. Too many to pick.
Well, you can
Some
keep
more green, some more green.
True.
Yeah.
I've got some of that one that I dyed with you ages ago.
Oh, is that donkey? Oh, that is absolutely perfect. That's gorgeous. Really look. Oh, that was a really nice workshop, that, wasn't it?
Dye in your own wool. Gosh.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Lovely. Some acid dyes. They're just so good. They're so vibrant. And I think I quite like the idea that it's a bit sort of witchcrafty. because I was stood there, wasn't I, with me weighing scales and weighing out this bit of poison and that bit of salt, and yeah, they were poisons, but I don't think you'd want to eat them for dinner. I do like this blue and brown. So yes, you can change direction, but it will only, the weave will only sort of wear once you get past the original colour and get to your new colour.
So how much do you recommend you do the middle bit?
To you, I've just only got sort of maybe just over a centimetre on mine, and that's held it really nicely. It really is up to you though, it's your design really. You're getting into design now, and as your warp threads get wider and wider apart, if you want a real bonny and neat finish, you want to try and mirror the thickness of the gaps with your yarn. That's why you've got quite a few different sizes, thicknesses of yarn. So if it's starting to feel as though the gaps are getting quite wide between your weaving threads, move on to a different thickness. You can change your thickness 2 different ways at least. One way is to change the yarn, and the other way is to double up the thickness of the yarn that you're working with.
Right.
When we do textile baskets, that's something that we do a lot. We will double up and then double up again. Because you're limited by the, if you're working with nettle fibres, you're limited by the ply that you can get. It also works up a lot quicker if you're doing it double.
I like this fine, it looks really nice.
The what, sorry?
Doing it in the fine stuff.
Doesn't it?
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very nice. I never used to have the patience for fine.
You'd be there all year if you did the whole thing in it though.
Yeah, but you've got to wonder if, if it's worth it. I'm not one to work with a 4-ply or anything like that, but yes, I think it's really pretty.
We like a quicker result, don't we, Pro? I've got the patience.
Well, I do though. I do sometimes have patience for really, really stupidly long projects. I'm quite good at that, but to be fair, no, even then it won't be a 4-ply. I'm going to get a smaller needle to finish off my yarn.
I thought Catherine was going to do this class.
She's doing the exploring art with Liz.
Oh, is she? Oh, yeah. Gosh, she's
Right.
more of a painter. Isn't she?
It's all painting and getting messy and
Yeah,
it's
she's
really
more of a painter, isn't she?
Yeah.
I'm missing seeing what she's painted in the morning.
Yeah.
We can set up a WhatsApp group if you want to. And we've got a Facebook page actually. We could maybe start putting things on there. What do we call it? The Trenahus Crafty Community. We set it up just after lockdown for people to share their ideas and notes and stuff.
I didn't know that. I belong the normal trainer house one, but I didn't know there was a community one.
Yeah, we did like a little group thing because we couldn't do the workshops anymore. So we just sort of
Oh, right.
It's not been very active lately because obviously people have been a bit more busy, but initially it was really busy. So
Oh,
we
right. That was that.
people, to put stuff on there.
What's it called?
It's the Trenahus Crafty Community. I just keep things simple. First thing that comes into my head, Lindsay.
Have a look.
Yeah.
You get sick of the sight of what me and Natalie have been doing because we've been doing nothing else.
No.
I've done any housework, have we, Natalie, for weeks?
Hey, I'm onto my garden now.
Oh, look.
Oh, yeah.
What have you been doing in the garden? What have you been doing, Tracy?
I built a shed.
Oh, you joking.
She just,
Yeah.
From a
Yeah.
pit or from wood?
Oh,
she turns green fingered till
Oh, well,
Tracy,
right.
Sorry?
was it from a kit or from bits of wood?
It was a kit, but anything that needs anything like that doing, I do it in our house. So I did it. I built myself a shed.
Oh, well done. How big is it?
It's only a little, really little girly shed. It's only for, what I did discover is sheds are measured imperially.
Yes. Yes,
Like,
they
I
are.
don't know why everything else is in meters. So it's a 4x3 shed. It's very small and it's very cute. And I painted it a very pretty girly colour.
Oh,
And
what's it for?
I've just put all my gardening stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I've painted it with like a pink, it's like a green, it's like sea breeze green, and then with some little pink highlights on it, and then I put some little pink trellis on.
Oh,
It's very girly,
it sounds cute.
just to keep all my rubbish in. And
Yeah, but it's good to have everything ready to go, isn't it?
yeah, well, I built some greenhouses as well.
Really?
There's some little wooden ones. Everything's tiny because my garden's tiny.
Well, it's only what you need then, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've put three sheds up since last year. One of them's a workshop. One of them's, well, it was my stepdaughter's little house. That's gardening stuff's in there. Then I've got I think it's a 4x6 with Trenner
Четко сделала.
everything in there.
I do like my shed. It's very cute. I was very pleased. I like to make things.
Yeah.
Lindsay, how much have you done?
Which have I done? Not a lot.
Look, let's have a look.
I see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've done, yeah. Oh, you're storming along.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah.
That's a
You've
lot.
done loads. You've done,
That a lot. All right.
yeah.
Does anybody else want to show where you're up to?
About a centimetre.
Let's have a look, Tilly.
Oh, look, Tilly.
Oh, that's
Oh.
good.
It looks tidy though. That was good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really tidy.
Very tidy. Yeah, mine's not quite in the middle.
Let's have a look, Jeanette. Oh, yeah, that's a nice colour. Is that the one that we dyed, or is that out the kit?
Out the kit.
It's the cotton, isn't it? That is really nice stuff. I made some baskets with it. I was naughty and bought myself
Nice.
things I shouldn't. Tracy, let's have a look. Let's have a look at you. That looks good.
It's not quite circular, but you know, it'll get there in the end.
You've got
I
a
keep-
knot there, haven't you? The knot, anything sort of in the basis of it, the substrate, as Liz would tell me, will cause interest and texture and detail.
I've been measuring it, trying to get it in the middle.
Anna, do you want to show us where you're up to? Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's very neat.
I don't. I cannot see. So it was white, and now I started doing this. Melange.
Oh, yeah, that lovely texture one. Yeah, that's
It's not
lovely.
good quality of the picture. Yes, it's. I
It's
don't.
not great quality, no, but we can
Yeah.
say, yeah. Right, so just want you to I'm just going to spotlight myself just very briefly. So before, I didn't have much weave, so I just started the new weaver just by leaving it at the back and then sorting it out later on. But now I've got quite a bit of weave on there. I'm actually going to be a little bit sneaky. And I just pulled my needle through. Now you've got to be a little bit delicate. That is now already tied into the work. So when I finish doing this, I can just snip that one off. I don't have to stitch it in. So that's a little naughty, sneaky way, cheaty method. And then I'll just start weaving as normal. Once I've got a couple down, I can just trim it, done. But it's already stitched in place. There you go, little trick.
Very nice.
Well, anything that saves wet, Tracy, you know me.
Yeah, mine's just broken again. So I'm going to start with a different colour now. I'm going to take it as it being a message to change colour.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's nice about these looms, they're not permanent, it's for practice. If you do produce something absolutely remarkable,
Is it just going to butter?
you can make a frame.
There, yeah. Me.
Well, at the moment, you've got lots of stuff growing in the garden. You could start, you could make yourself a willow wreath to put it on. I can show you how to make a green willow wreath.
Yeah, I've cut down some trees. It wasn't willow, it was silver birch, but it feels quite bendy, so I've left it.
Yeah, if it feels bendy, it should be good. And birch is something you can work with.
Is it?
Yeah, it's amazing. Jane does wreaths with, sorry, you don't know Jane, one of my colleagues, she does wreaths with birch.
Yeah, it felt a lot bendier than I was expecting. So I thought, oh, what can I make with this?
Oh, brilliant. And I'll tell you what else you can weave with. Honeysuckle,
All right.
clematis.
Yeah.
You can weave with lily leaves. You have to mess about with them a bit, but yeah, there's so many things. Hazel, dogwood. So I've just made a basket, actually, quite a big one, with my own green willow and dogwood. The thing about working with willow and stuff like that is you want to give them a couple of weeks. Don't use them yet. They need to have dried out a little bit because they dry out so much. If you put a basket or something together with them, they'll just become very holy. They don't hold on to each other very well.
Do I need to take the bark off?
No, leave the bark on it.
Right.
Up next.
It holds its integrity. It'll be much more longer lasting if you leave the bark on. Leave it maybe 4 weeks.
Well, I don't know what to do next.
Well, let's have a 5-minute break and I'll show you a different technique.
I'm trying to look for what colour to do next. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I've forgotten the switching over bit.
Switching over as in changing colour.
Yeah, what do I do with the bit I'm using?
Right, if you've got enough to weave into, which I suspect you have, you might want to just slip onto a thinner needle if you can. And we're just literally going to sew it down the back. You know when you knit a jumper?
Yeah.
And you're sewing your ends? We're essentially doing that. But I like to follow the line of the warp thread. The warp thread is what we're weaving onto, the great long ones across the circle. So, I'll show you now, Tilly.
Okay.
So I've threaded it onto a thinner needle and I'm just going to follow the warp thread
Through the back.
down like this. Can you say?
Yes.
Flip through. Only needs to go through maybe 4 or 5 threads.
Okay.
Pull it tight but not too tight, and then I can trim that straight off. Get rid of that one because it's annoying now. You can play with it. I'm sort of thinking my shape's a little bit odd. Right, so we'll have a 5-minute break, and then after the break, I'll give you some options. We'll pause the
Pulling them
recording
out.
again.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So with your roving wool, we're going to split it in half. And in half again. Just let the yarn split where it wants to. Then we're going to go in half one more time. Or another if you want it to be thinner. Yeah, I think I will actually. I'm going to go for another one. I'm going to be bold. And then if you just start to very gently pull, very, very gently, you start to see how the fibres start to pull away from each other, and you can lengthen this out very gently. That's going quite nicely. If it starts to go too much in one place, move your hand over to stop that bit from coming apart. Work your way over here. We can see the end was there. It's grown quite a lot, which is really good. Just very gently teasing that out. So it's now become quite a bit longer. And we're just going to put a bit of a twist on it just to bring those fibres together. So you could put it in your mouth or we could just hold it with one hand. It's a little bit tricky. Just put a little bit of a twist on it just to start to bring those fibres. Just mat them together a little. It doesn't matter if they're all over the place. Just to make it a little bit easier to work with. That will come undone as soon as I let go, but it's just brought them together a little bit more smoothly. So I'm going to teach you how to do the rear. Not the rear, sorry, the twining. Twining, that's what it's called. Right, so we're going to work with 2 threads at the same time. So we want to bring this through from the back. I'm going to follow my colour block on through one hole here. So it's coming through this hole. This is the leftmost weaver. Then we take the other side and bring it through the next gap along behind the next warp thread and pull it through. So it's just nice and simple. It's just come through like that. And we're always working with the leftmost weaver. So just ignore this one on the right for now. Make sure they're even. Take this left weaver. The warp thread that they're on, we're going to go to the one either to the right or to the left. If you're right-handed, I would recommend you go to the right. If you're left-handed, I recommend you go to the left. And I'm going to take this thread and I'm just going to place it, wrap it around the following warp thread. I got confused then. Yeah. Very gently pull it down. Then this one, which we ignored a minute ago, is now on the left. So we're working with the left one, always with the left one. We ignore the one to the right, the warp to the right. We take it around the next warp thread along. So next door but one. And again, we pull it down. And what you find by doing this motion, always working with the left one and then pulling it down on the right, they start to twist around each other. So you're not just going over alternate weavers with your alternate threads, you're also twisting them in the process. So make sure it always goes down to the left. Just pull that down. Take your leftmost weaver around the next warp thread. And because we're working with the roving yarn, I'm doing it very gently because it will just literally fall apart otherwise, potentially. Pull it down nice and gently, and it creates a really nice, smooth finish.
Start again.
Start again, Lindsay, start again.
I was doing it too near the middle of my weaving and you just couldn't see it.
Yeah. The thickness I'm working with now is more than twice the thickness that I was working with earlier with the blue. That's because I'm further out. So it needs to be. Pull it down. I just keep going on in this fashion, but at some point we need to turn around and go back. And that's what gives us the little V's or what looks like knitting pattern. Tilly and Jeanette, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, well done.
You've learnt to teach me well, haven't you, Prue?
Thank you very much. I hope so.
You can't physically get hold of my hands and show me.
It's really hard, isn't it? Oh dear. Oh, you
So do
wear.
you Can you not actually go all the way around, Pro, or is it just that it's more effective?
You can keep going, but the actual stitch, the method, you then take it back the other way to create this effect. So yeah, the pattern, it's a 2-stage pattern, one way and one the other. Or you can just put, you can just do that. It looks really pretty, but you don't get the full, it's just a different stitch essentially. It would be half a stitch.
Create a bit more
Yeah, it's just
an effect, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. When you get to the end and you're going to turn, it is obvious, but it still seems to melt your brain. It's the left one that goes round, but it doesn't go. We're not going to the right anymore. We're going to start going left, or if we're going right or left already, we're going to start going right. So we just need to go around the next most warp thread, and again pull it down. Then this becomes the left one, even though it's on the right. Well, we're now working from the right. That would help, wouldn't it? We're going the other way, so we're working with the right weaver, and then we take that over there behind the next most warp thread and continue. Doesn't look right until you've got a few on, and then we're starting to see. I've got a bit of a bulge actually on my my roving yarn there. I'm going back from right to left. So the thing about this, Jeanette, of course, is it doesn't matter in some respects that you're left-handed, because with weaving, quite often you have to go both ways. So that there's no sort of main, there's no sort of this is the way, and then all you left is a difficult at all. It's we're all struggling with it, going one way or the other. It's the wrong way there. This is lovely, this, Liz, with the lovely thick roving yarn, this stitch, it's absolutely gorgeous. I call it a stitch.
I've got a whole bag of that stuff at my studio. I forget now why I bought it.
Yeah.
It's
But I
lovely.
did buy it.
Yeah. Well, and it's not cheap.
No, I got like a bag. It was off Facebook Marketplace. There was a lady selling a bag of assorted colours, little scraps.
Oh, wow.
And I bought them, and for the life of me, I can't remember why. And I still obviously have the bag full of stuff.
Well, it's
I
really,
was going to
really
do something with it, and then I never did. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Prue,
Yeah.
I've had to take it out because I've missed one. So when I get to the end and I need to switch,
Yes.
the one on the left,
Yeah.
do I take it under the first one first before putting it over?
Are you heading left to right at this stage?
I've gone left to right now.
Now
I'll
you're
be
at
going
the
right
end.
to left.
So your left
I'm at
one
the end.
around the end weaver and then pull it down. So it basically you're just wrapping it around and pushing it down to the left. So it goes back where it came from actually, but around the end warp thread.
But do you wrap it, do you take it under the right hand piece first? The right hand piece of roving.
No, it goes over
No.
because then that
No.
becomes the right one and that wraps over it, I believe.
Over. Okay.
Yeah, if I'm understanding you correctly. So if you have got very small bits of rovings, this is a very small bit, Liz.
Yeah, I've got little tiny scraps like that.
Right, so like this, yeah? Right, well, what you can do, split it like this, and then stop splitting it. And it's now twice the size. Fiddle with the end a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with that being the size. Are you with me?
As long as the fibres are still connected, it's
Exactly, they're
together,
very
isn't it?
nicely connected. These ends sort of get quite matted
Mm.
actually. And then and keep teasing it. Just be careful with your teasing, you want it to be even. I mean, this is really good practice if you ever wanted to do spinning. I love spinning, it's so good.
I've just about cracked the central bit now.
Oh,
Is this,
good.
is this the same stuff you use for wool felting?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
same stuff, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's why I bought the stuff to do some felting.
Ah,
Um,
I remember now.
it's great needle felting, but I don't know. Well, I mean, if you do a really substantial piece, but it's sort of, you can end up with lots of little bits of this and that, can't you? And they become, well,
I think it was after a class I did at your studio where we made beads and stuff.
oh, would that have
And
been
then I bought a whole pack of the stuff on Facebook because I obviously wanted to do more.
wet felted beads, was it? Did you do that?
Yeah,
with it?
that's right. We made
That
some
was
beads.
so good.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, there's a lot of uses for this stuff.
How did you take your ends through on that, Prue? Did you just,
On this piece that I've just done,
yeah, on the roving, did you just,
right? So I just literally, because it was a very small piece, I just split it in half, and just left the ends together.
no,
So
the
bit, oh, I haven't done anything with it. I've just pushed it down. I tell you what I did on this one. I've knotted it. I've done a little knot. Can you see the little knot?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just deciding now, because of course you've got one at the end with nothing over it. I'm just deciding how to finish it off.
Yeah, when you put a bit more weaving on there, it's not as important, if you know what I mean, what to do with it.
Yeah,
Because this bit barely, can you see there was hardly anything left?
yeah,
There's just a little thin thing that I pulled through, but look how strong it is. Really good stuff. But then I can just sort of go like that a bit. And before you know it, it's integrated to that bit.
yeah.
It's that bit. And what I'll probably do with this is when I've got a bit more weaving on, I might actually stitch it down. Because that one I could just cut really, because I've got a knot in there.
Not today, I've been lazy.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I don't think I've got room to knot that one. So that is the roving, which I think is really, really lovely.
Nice.
That colour works there, but never mind. So some of you have got some really big chunky bits. The under the sea.
Yeah, it's the under the sea ones, isn't it?
Yeah, some really super chunkies. This is amazing stuff.
Right.
I mean, I literally, oh, it's so much fun. I just went through my entire wool stash and yeah.
This
Look at that
netting's
one.
fun.
You what?
The netting, this one.
Yeah, I was just got the netting out, thinking how will we work with this one? Yeah, so this was a craze, wasn't it? This was very fashionable.
Very Madonna.
Well, you knitted with them and created ruffles. It was quite a simple knitting method. You know, obviously it was of its time, but how amazing is this material? I mean, you could stitch that onto something, and the trouble is if you work with it like that, you'd never get through it all, would you? So yeah, you could, I mean, you could do some absolutely wackadoosical, couldn't you? You could weave it across that bottom like that, somehow, open it up, and then do some weaving across. Oh, in fact, let's do that. There you go. Challenge accepted.
Look like a fishing net.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There
Under
you
the sea, yeah, catch your mermaid on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't catch a mermaid.
This brings a whole new meaning to dream catchers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like a dream catcher, isn't it? So
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, let's put that
but a
in.
mermaid catcher instead.
Mermaid. Yeah. Oh,
I
dear.
was wondering how I could do a mermaid, but I'm like, I don't think I can. So
Yeah, I think you could. Yeah, the thing is, I was thinking this through and I couldn't sleep as you do last night. And you've just got to think about the distance between the warp thread, because it's quite different, as you can see, to working across a flat weave when you're going, you know, just backwards and forwards, because it's all going diagonally in places. Okay, so Well, there you go. Looks a bit mad, doesn't it?
Are you going to show how we finish it off when you get to the edges?
Yeah, well, I was going to do that next week.
Okay.
And we're going to do finishing off next week. So you've got a couple of looms. So if you want to, keep practicing with your looms, with your two, and the very small one is quite fiddly, but it's all good experience. If you want to take them off, if you work out how to take them off, crack on. And I can show you some finishing techniques next week. But like I said, if you go all the way to the very end, then you'll have a piece that's going to be pretty much the size of your loom. I suspect it'll shrink back ever so slightly, but we'll see. If you want to do a fancy finish, so I can teach you some simple basket basket making edges, which we can have a little play with. But the key is, if you cut this here, it's not going to unravel like it would coming off an ordinary loom, but there's always a chance that that's just going to whip down into the fabric and you've lost everything. So don't cut them off, just pull that off gently. There's two different methods. I'll show you one with a cut end and the other one without the cut end. But basically, if you don't want to cut the end and do a basket weave finish that I was on about, you'll need to take your yarn absolutely as far as you possibly can, I would have said. And I'd try and finish maybe on something quite chunky, and then it'll push out and give you the things. And then that's it, pretty much, you're done. The other things, obviously, what we did before with the woven pieces. So Tilly and Jeanette, and sorry, Liz, I've completely excluded you from all of those sentences.
Don't worry, I'm just, and I'm not here.
Oh no. We used a sewing machine, and we were sort of gluing and sticking on all sorts of felt and card and all sorts of things to our woven bits and creating smaller shapes from them. And I think the sewing machine was one of the most successful ways, actually. So we can always finish it with the sewing machine. You could sew it onto something else, or we could mount it on a willow frame. I've just made this one, actually.
Oh,
which would be quite groovy. So this is just a bit of lucky old willow.
Have you made this?
Yeah, it's very easy. I can soon show you how to make this. This is Kaylee Hazel. It does get very brittle, but if you work with it within about maybe 4 to 6 weeks of it being cut, it's very nice to work with. This is actually really old stuff, and it's just gone on really quite nicely. Yeah, it's nice and rustic, isn't it? So I imagine, you see, we could attach that to that, but we would stitch it on. I think. We'd find a way to stitch it through the loom. So yeah, if it comes on this, it's off this, a range of different things.
It's an actual piece of fabric by the time you're finished, isn't it? So you could embroider on it, hand embroider on it, and all sorts, really, I guess.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's funny, you don't realise until you've done it, you think, but it's just a piece of fabric, actually. Yeah.
Well,
we did a bit of over sewing.
My centre started off a little bit dodgy.
Oh, great.
Until I got the hang of it.
Yes.
So don't look really closely at the centre, because it is a bit.
Oh, we can't see it anyway, don't we?
Yeah, there was a while where I was like getting the pattern, and getting the up and down thing. It's obviously one of them I've had to. I think that was one, and I think there's another side I've had to treat it as one as well, because I've messed up a bit.
Yeah.
And I must admit, actually winding it in the first place, it took me 5 goes to get it right.
Yeah.
Don't feel so bad now then if it's not just me.
So everybody else don't feel so bad. It took me 5 goes.
This is a professional artist.
I'm not a professional weaver though.
You build big stuff though, big complicated
stuff. I've got a HND qualification in textile design. I didn't specialise in weaving.
I'll teach you. Oh,
I specialised
brilliant.
in screen printing because I was shit at weaving.
Yes. Very good, Liz. Well done.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, you can come again.
Thanks.
Right, is everybody happy, or shall I teach you before? We've only got 10 minutes left. Shall I teach you tassels? You've got to know tassels.
I've just realised I swore on your recording. Sorry.
Never mind. It's only Amora that's not here.
We didn't even notice.
I didn't either.
I didn't know.
I must admit, if I'm honest, I must admit, if I would have watched my language much more, I'll try and remember next time.
Well, Amora will not mind, I'm quite sure, Liz. Yeah. Hi, Amora. She's not here, Anna. She's going to watch the recording later.
Right. Sorry, Amore, for swearing. I'm really sorry.
Oh, bless her. Shall I show you tassels, you guys? You got to know tassels.
Yeah.
Right. So some of you obviously have done your tassels, and some of you haven't. So I'll just spotlight. Look at my messy stuff. Come on, tidy up, woman. Okay, tassels are great fun. I'm gonna do some brown ones because we're just come on, you focus. Has it done it? Well, hopefully it'll come together. Right.
Do you sometimes stop the camera and start it again to fix the focus then?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because it is a little bit out of focus.
Yeah, it did it. Sometimes it pulls itself together. There we go.
Ah, that's better.
This is on the size of tassels that you want. And they're called rears, by the way. We just wrap round, 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 round. However many you want, it's entirely up to you. I'm going with 6. So just cut at one end. So that's basically double the length of my hand. So then I have my little collection of pieces of yarn, all the same size. Then you need to decide where you're going to put them. Now, because this is circular, they have to go sideways. A bit complicated, but there you go. So place them. Oh, actually, you should do this, Lindsay.
No.
Right, so they want to go over 2 of your warp threads. The right one comes, so this is the middle. We've got 1 warp thread and then 2, the second warp thread, and then this is our middle. So we take the right hand warp thread up through the middle, over the right, sorry, the weaving thread, over the warp thread. Let's get a bit closer. Pull it through to the middle. And then the left one goes over the top, around the back of the warp thread, and pull it down. And that is a tassel.
Oh.
But Lindsay has a really good method. Let's see if it's coming in. Great, Lindsay. What was
The
it?
Lindsay method.
Half it.
Yeah, go on, tell me. Talk me through it.
Bend it in half. Fold it in half.
Yeah.
Then put the loop under one thread. Just put the loop part under one thread. Yeah. Then lift your loop through. Lift the looped bit up and put the 2 tails through the loop. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, so what's interesting about that is it's going the complete opposite way.
It hangs sideways, doesn't it? Whereas
Yeah.
your other way,
Through, I
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
It
Well,
just
it's because
hangs a
it's
different way.
circular, Lindsay. It's because we're going circular.
Yeah. Because you did it over 2, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I were to do, oh, I can't.
I don't know if it'd work over 2. It might work over 2.
I think it'll still go that way.
Still go one
No,
way.
it doesn't. It goes down towards the centre.
Yeah.
Yes, it is different. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you've gone over 2 threads and mine goes up 1, doesn't it?
It just depends which way is up and which way is down. I
No, I've
guess.
done it over 2 threads before. I did it over 2 threads before, yeah.
Yeah,
not
you
over
could do it
one.
over 2 threads before, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, it does go out sideways instead of.
but to be fair,
Yeah.
I think I like that. When I did them on here, I did them deliberately in sort of quite a fluffy, chunky thing because I
I was
just
going to say, it depends how soft your wool is, doesn't it, really? It'll just flop if it's
Yeah.
a soft wool, whichever way it goes.
yeah, yeah, and I floofed at it to sort of break the ends and stuff as well.
Break
so
it
it's
up,
more-
yeah.
yeah, it's more of a fluff than a sort of a gentle. It's not like Anna's beautiful tassels coming down on that beautiful weave. So there you go. You had to have your tassels. We can have a bit of tassel practice between now and next week. So have a go with your colour blocking. So the colour blocking, where we literally just went one way and then the other and then back again and kept going all the way up here. And then as we learnt previously, if we then do a second colour block next to it, we make sure that we go through around this warp thread.
Brooke, can you do it so further round so it just doesn't finish in a line? Do you get what I mean?
If you're doing a colour block,
Yeah.
so it doesn't finish. Yeah, right. So what you can do is you can stagger this.
I meant stagger it, yeah, and then put other
Yeah.
colours in between.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. I tell you what, I have got something I could maybe show you that shows that. I couldn't find this when I was doing the.
You're getting a bit flash, Mrs. Withers.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about yours, because yours is staggered, isn't it?
So,
Right.
Wow.
so this is not mine. This
Wow.
is from Mexico, isn't it? I couldn't find this when we did the last course. So here, can you see that staggered, Tilly?
Yeah,
And there's no hole there.
no.
All integrated. So yes, again here, the staggered, so you can create designs this way. And then this, I just love this. But what's really nice about this, look, yeah,
Should be at the door. The door should be opened.
it's an open house, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've
You
got
could have a little sort of miniature dog that goes in and out or something.
yeah, yeah. Yes. Do you know, I've never thought of that. I will be doing that later. The window, yeah, the window's the same, but the mountains are, and the birds in the sky. So yes, you can do that. God, I've just got to check them all now. Look, they're all solid.
Is that from South America?
Yeah, it's from Mexico. Yeah,
Wow.
it's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Because I had children very young, I didn't do the whole. I couldn't travel, so every time a friend was going somewhere, I would give them like £10 or something and say, just buy me something. So I've got stuff from all over the world from my friends' travels.
Oh,
I know it's pathetic, isn't it? But I was very happy.
no.
I was really happy. So so yes, Tilly, this could easily have been a straight line. I say easily because you've only got 2, maybe 3 warp threads. So yeah, you'll have to play with that. But
Yeah.
really nothing to stop you weaving across like this. You don't have to go around. You could just start weaving here. The only thing is you can't weave here sideways like that. You'd have to keep weaving that way. You
Yeah.
could technically have a few sections. You could have a section at the top. This could be your sunrise. Turn it around, look. That could be a sunrise,
Yeah.
the reflection of the sun on the water. So we could have a crystal clear blue line across here, but you can see well, I suppose you'd be wrapping around that one. Yeah, you could do. And then you could have all glowing sunshine at the top. You could have some little fluffy clouds.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marvellous.
Mm.
I couldn't think of
Well,
anything you could do in the round.
Right. Matisse says by Monday. Right. So, does anybody have any questions or comments?
Not
Don't think so at the moment.
No,
Yeah.
let's do our homework.
Well,
Apart from I really like it.
Yeah.
I told you would.
do you like it, Joe? So even though you must have done your editing.
Yeah, it looks so neat. But that little bit in the middle, so nice.
Pretty, isn't it? Yeah.
She said she didn't fancy weaving, but I said you'll
Oh,
enjoy it.
lovely. Right, let's have a little show and tell then. Let's see what you. I've just put you on spotlight, Tilly.
Oh, hang on, I'll just pull this bit through and then there.
Great.
Oh, wow, that's
It's really
lovely.
nice. It's lovely and textured, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's great.
Bit of fluffy there, and then
Yeah, yeah.
That looks like a perfect circle as well.
It does, doesn't it? Go on, Tracy. Let's have a look.
Mine's not mine's like a heart. I think I've achieved a heart.
Oh,
I love
it took
it.
me so much effort, Tracy.
Yeah, well, some of us could just naturally do hearts.
Yeah.
Give me a circle, I'll give you a heart.
Great stuff. Who's going to show us theirs next?
I've put some
Ready?
tassels on mine.
Oh, brilliant. We've got some
Oh,
tassels.
let's do some tassels.
I'm not sure
Oh.
quite. I think this is a unicorn catcher.
I think it is. You know, with yellow and green and amber and violet.
Yeah, go rainbow.
And then let me see what you've been up to. Oh,
Again, difficult to see the colors. Platinum.
Really nice. And you've done quite a bit of colour changing there. Brilliant. Well done.
Yeah.
Lindsay?
Just adding another colour in.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, I like the
Yeah.
green.
Yeah.
I like black.
in there.
Which
Is that
rare
your roving-
is what, sorry, Pro?
is that your roving wool, the olive?
This year. Yeah, you can see me
But-
not-
but especially-
You can see me not at the moment, but I'll get that hidden. I
It'll
was a
be
bit lazy and
fine.
knotted it. Yeah, that's and this cream one was out of your kit, and this one I've just added the green and grey and a bit. I'm just putting a bit of black in.
it's good.
Spot on, yeah,
Wow,
really
that's
good.
beautiful.
Jeanette, have you ever what you've been up to? Oh wow!
Just
Yeah.
hold it up a bit,
Yeah,
Jeanette.
oh,
That's
Oh,
it.
wow.
What are you going
Very
to do with that
nice.
thing there at the bottom? Are you just going to leave it, or are you going to weave into
I don't
that?
know yet. I might just leave it as like the sea.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I think you might want to weave a little just to bring it, just to hold it together so it doesn't
Yeah.
just come out. Yeah, secure it. That's the word.
Mm.
Great. Isn't it nice that you've all got sort of the similar? Well, obviously there's two different kits, but you're all using them completely different.
Completely different, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm loving the colours though, Pro.
Use him. He's been to pub for the first time in 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit cold for sitting outside though, isn't it?
He's got white hands.
Oh,
Yes, well, they're not blue. He'll be all right. He hasn't got hypothermia. If he falls asleep in a minute,
I'll just slap him.
they're gonna have to watch people having too many like shots of brandy outdoors to try and counteract the cold, and then they end up with pneumonia or something.
yeah. I've had a few coffees outside, which has been really nice of my stepdad.
Yeah.
I'm terrible. I'm quite snuggly at home, really. I'm terrible. Right, okay, you guys, you all look very busy.
That'll be it now. Nothing else done for the rest of the week. It'll be just weaving.
Well, what we'll do next time then, we'll learn some new stitches. So you can either continue with this piece, or if you finish it, have one ready to go, have something ready to work on. I mean, you can start again during the class. It's entirely up to you. But I'll teach you some more complicated stitches.
Ooh.
All right, Smashing. Well, it's lovely to see you all. It's nice to be back. And I'll see you all next week.
Okay, see you.
Sweet.
Bye.
See you
Yeah,
guys.
see you next week.
Bye bye, everyone.
Okay.
Are you still sewing, Mrs.